Ridiculous questions.
Meticulously debated. This is Tell Me I'm Wrong.
Well, I was happy just last night. I've been losing sight, sighting all the falling fights. What is this if this ain't right? Back again, the monster rights. Losing life until that night. Life never let him lie. Light as my car passes right.
And welcome to Tell Me I'm Wrong. I am your moderator this week, Josh Ballard.
Hi, my name is Joseph. I am one of the debaters this week.
Ryan, it's your turn. What do you mean, no? Ryan,
we can see you on the Zoom call. We know you're there.
We see you on the screen. You showed up for the podcast. At the very least, just say your part. I'm Ryan Story. I'll be a debater. That's all you got to say.
No, okay, I have a question. So you went through all the effort to turn on your computer, hook up your headphones, put on your mic, create a Zoom meeting for us, open the Zoom meeting for us, join the Zoom meeting for us, do the count in to get in the podcast, to not talk to us. That's a lot of work to prove a point.
I am impressed by the level of petty it takes to go through all that effort just to stand us up and not record this podcast.
I mean, I've got a full pint glass of Miller Lights. I can see. I don't know if I told you all, but I've been dieting and we don't get to drink stuff that tastes good very
Ryan,
much.
And I'll be debating. Okay, I gotta say no. Listen, if you go back and listen, I think it was right around like 15 minutes in, I said aggressively seasoned, and then the first reason that you gave that I did not win was because you said you fictionally didn't taste.
Ryan,
I'm getting worked up again, y'all. I don't know if I can do this. You know what?
The episode. Yeah. Hold on. Let me say this. The episode came out today. And I'm pretty sure because I listened specifically for it. You said I will aggressively season one side, so maybe I tasted the non-seasoned side.
You know what? I'm out.
No, you can't just Ryan.
I can't anymore.
I've never seen the wall behind Ryan. He's gone. He should put some color on that wall.
The fact that he has no decor on that wall
it's just literally a blank canvas. Like literally just a white blank wall. Usually I just see Ryan's head.
Quite honestly, if you just said that Ryan recorded this podcast in purgatory, I'd believe you because it is just nothing but white.
It's just his version of a padded room. Can you get him back?
Well, I mean, what do you want me to do about it?
I mean, we're 4 minutes into the podcast.
He's been pissed off all week.
I mean, that's fine. I lose all the time. I don't get pissed. Well, that's not true. Actually, I do get angry. I've walked up and told my wife I was screwed and I was picked because I was just better than everyone else. But, that happened. I didn't say anything. I got back I put my big boy panties on.
I know. But this one, I'll give Ryan this. This one's a little bit different because in his defense, he was wrong. He said aggressively seasoned. He actually said heavily seasoned, which I think are two separate things, but that's beyond the point. And he did only say one side, but that is a preparation for that type of meat. So
let's just go over once again. I judged tasting fake food. There had to be something.
We do lots of fake things on this show, Joe. But this is, look, typically we dabble in kayfabe. This one's very real. So I'll give Ryan a call. I'll talk him through and I'll see what we can do. Okay. Just give me a minute. I'm going to record it just in case this goes sideways because, legal purposes. For court. But give me just a second.
The court would like to admit calls 1141.
Hey, Joe, be quiet. He can't know that you're on. Is he just not going to answer my phone call?
Yeah, okay, what?
Hey, thanks for answering. It rang forever before you answered my call.
Well, I was taking a jog because I needed to cool off.
That's a really interesting way to cope.
I hate this stupid show. I can't do it anymore.
No, you don't. You love the show, Ryan. You do.
Not lately.
Well, look, you've been killing it this year, so I don't know what you're upset about. Joe,
Joe. It's a conspiracy. You know it is.
It might have been a little bit of a conspiracy. I will say this. I appreciate Joe's decision last week because I won. However, I do recognize that your dish was better. And he was wrong, and you should have won last week.
As long as we have that recorded for posterity. Okay, you know what?
Can you come back on?
It's fine. A real champion will come back and defend his honor. So that's what I'm going to do.
Well,
So
technically, I'm defending my win, but
you have not overtaken the throne, so...
All right, Joe. I don't know what you heard, but Ryan's...
right.
He's back on.
I heard all of it, and I got to be honest. When Ryan Ryan said I was taking a jog, I really thought he was going to say I was taking a dump.
No, that's what you would say.
That's what I was doing, actually. I just took
All
the
right.
mic with me.
What is our friggin' topic? Let's go.
Okay, well, now that we've got everything calmed down and we're ready to actually record a podcast and we let bygones be bygones, we can record our show. Now, this week, we were trying to talk about what topics to do, and obviously, WrestleMania is this week. And unfortunately...
No more wrestling. No more wrestling.
No, you have made that abundantly clear in the group chat, Ryan.
We have done enough. It's time to give our listeners a break.
I'm going to need you to dial back the attitude a little bit. We hashed this out.
Attitude to 11
We've
this week.
talked about wrestlers, but have we ever actually talked about actual wrestling on this podcast? We did.
We talked about wrestlers in a few different episodes. We also did a Royal Rumble episode that was about coaches. So I think we've hit enough of the topic that we can move on.
But I'm saying we've never actually talked about the act of wrestling. We just put wrestlers in a youth pastor role and then put NCAA collegiate athletic basketball coaches in a wrestling match. But I don't think we've ever actually discussed wrestling as a whole.
You're inferring that we actually discuss any of these actual topics when we have this show.
Well, we discuss them. They're just all fake.
That's true. So we couldn't do wrestling this week. So I started thinking, I was like, well, okay, WrestleMania is in Tampa Bay this year. You got the downtown atmosphere. I really miss like going out and doing stuff. I'm looking forward to that. And then I started thinking about some of my favorite places to go. And one of those is like just a good corny theme bar. I don't know. Have you all ever been to a cool theme bar?
No, I don't think they exist.
Josh, I know me and you have been to a few together. We went to Tokyo. Remember when we went to Tokyo Kitty?
We did go to Tokyo Kitty. That was a fun time.
It is a Japanese-inspired karaoke bar, and it's super cool. So it's in downtown Cincinnati, and so when one of our friends have a baby, we call it a bro mitzvah, where you become a man, and we go to a trip. Or we'll do something like we're doing one for Ryan. We're going to play some disc golf and go to a distillery and have some fun.
Ryan's having a baby?
Well, his wife, I'm doing quotations, listeners. She's apparently pregnant. We haven't seen her, so we don't know. But we went to Cincinnati for mine pre-COVID. And my friend Bo, who's been on the show, he rented a private karaoke room at this place called Tokyo Kitty. So it was like me and like 8 or 9 other guys, and we just sang bad karaoke songs, a lot of Backstreet Boys. But the cool thing is in this place, so they have like a group bar you can do, and then you have your own private room. You don't ever see a waiter or a waitress. The drinks are delivered from an elevator in the ceiling. You just order it on the internet, and then all of a sudden, the elevator just descends in the middle of the room, and it's just got drinks galore on it.
That sounds like Blade Runner.
It was very cool. A friend of ours was really intoxicated and just kept handing people his phone to buy drinks, and I bet his tab was over $200 that night, easily.
If not more.
I think I bought 7 sake bombs.
Now, I've been to quite a few. One of my favorites was down in Nashville. It was a spot that was meant to look like a trailer park, even had a pool that looked like a public like hotel pool.
Was this your apartment?
Yes, it was. And then I've also been to one that was a pop-up bar that was The Office themed and had a bunch of cool office stuff and cool themed drinks. And so I thought, in order to get us hyped up for a post-vaccination world where we can go out and have fun, I wanted you all to come up with the most absurd, ridiculous themed bar that would still be cool to hang out at. Joe knew his right off the bat when we talked about this. He's done a lot of research.
You all kind of almost picked mine for me.
Ryan had to do a little bit more emotional labor to get to the point that he had one. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this pans out.
I think I'm going to move from, Perry, friend of the show, has given us all our nicknames, and I was originally Sensitive Boy. I think I'm going to move to Emotional
Oh,
Laborer.
you're kind of proven that.
I think that's my move in 2021. I've become the emotional laborer of this show.
That sounds like a birthing coach. What do? I'm an emotional laborer.
Or just a construction worker who's very into the Smiths.
I'm there if the boss is having a bad day. I just come in and just have all the emotion for them.
So I am going to let the guys start off a little bit slow here. I just want to know, before we get into any details about your bar, will you just tell me what the theme is?
No, I will not sing Toby Keith, I love this bar for you.
I didn't ask that, Joe. Ryan, since you have been such a trooper to join us today and really fought through the tough times, I'll let you go first.
Emotional laboring.
You did the emotional labor. Please tell us what the theme of your bar is.
Okay, so this is a live reveal. Neither of the guys, and this is not kayfabe. The guys do not know what my bar theme is. I had some trouble because I didn't want to base it on. I wanted it to be very different than Joe's, and we knew Joe's going in. So I wanted it to be kind of ephemeral is the word I think I'm thinking of.
Okay.
And I'm also trying to play to Josh's play to my judge here. So my theme is podcasts.
Okay.
This is super meta.
It's very meta. And that's kind of that's who I am. So
Just podcasts in general, a specific genre. We'll get into the details, but
podcasts as an idea.
okay. Well, you're definitely playing to my sensibilities, but as we have said, there are far too many podcasts. So just adding one more that is a bar might not be the best idea. But I'll hear you out. So Joe, me and Ryan already know what you've picked, and I assume you know which one you've picked as well. So could you just enlighten our listeners on what your theme bar is?
Yeah. I don't know if it would say you all know what my choice is. I think the better term would be you all picked my bar for me.
Well, we even kind of discussed that we were going to build this bar live between all three of us as a full episode because we all got excited about it. So I definitely think that Joe has the leg up, but I'm going to do my emotional laboring.
It made it easy to decide what I was going to do, but then it made it really difficult for me because I was like, they're already thinking of ways to make my own bar better.
Yes, you got to surprise us.
Yeah, so I decided this is going to be a huge surprise to all of our listeners out there if you've been around since day one. I mean, you will never guess what I'm about to say.
Let's all say it together.
Well, I decided
2.
to go with a Tool Time themed bar.
There it
yes,
is.
That's right, Tim Taylor. I've never mentioned him before. He's not a personal hero of mine. I just decided now. I almost thought about pulling a complete curve and picking a completely different bar. And I had a good idea I wanted to pitch to y'all real quick on my other one. I was going to do a TGIF bar. And there was a 2-story bar.
I think that already exists, Joe.
And there was there was 2 bars on each floor that were representative of the show. Each had its own themed bar inside the big bar. So you could spend a couple minutes in the Family Matters bar. And then if you wanted to go hang out at Boy Meets World, or if you wanted to go hang out with Danny Tanner over there just drinking at the bar by himself because he's weird.
I was going to say, I feel like the Full House bar would be depressing.
But I started doing research for that, and there's so many iterations of TGIF out there, I couldn't decide on which one I wanted to do. So I ultimately just stayed with the Tool Time theme bar.
I don't think that's a bad choice, but I do think you would have had some copyright issues with TGI Fridays.
Yeah,
that's
well,
just
I
my
wasn't
guess.
doing TGI Fridays. I was doing TGIF.
Personally, if you'd just done a TGI Fridays as your theme bar, I would have
Can I
loved
just
that.
tell you all a fun story about TGI Fridays?
We don't do fun stories anymore.
So in Lexington, when Rachel and I were dating, we used to always, around the mall, there's a lot of new restaurants and everything. We'd go to the mall, go to a movie, go do whatever. And it'd be like time for dinner. And for some reason, we always would get to TGI Fridays. And we'd be like, let's go TGI Fridays. We went 5 times and never ate. We would go in there sometimes. They would get us a table before the waiter would come to us. We'd realize we want to go eat at the pub, get up and leave. Occasionally they brought us drinks. I left cash on the table. We'd get up and leave.
Well, the thing about, and I will step in for the Lexington translator here. The thing about that location of TGIF is that it is literally surrounded by restaurants that are all better than Fridays.
Yes, the pub was across the street, and I'm a big Cuban sandwich fan.
Saw Good, Smashing Tomato.
Yes.
I don't think Chewy's was there at the time.
Logan's
it's
was
a little bit
there.
newer. Moe's, the Burger Fi,
Burger
Smash
Fi,
Burger when it was
so
there. Like
good.
literally all the restaurants around it are better.
The Lifeway Christian Bookstore.
The Lifeway Christian Bookstore, you could eat a book. It would probably taste better.
But anyways, we're not talking about that. We're talking about my bar.
Apparently, we are talking about that. We spent more time talking about that than
well, I
anything
can go
else
ahead
on
and
the
talk
show.
about my bar, or Ryan can. What would you like us to do, Mr. Moderator?
No, we gotta abide by the rules here. I was trying to host a nice, lively show, and then Joe had to talk about TGI Fridays like he does every episode.
Yes.
So Ryan, I'll let you go first, but what I want you guys to do now, we've got your theme. Ryan's got his podcast theme. Joe is a home improvement tool time theme.
Oh.
So thank you. Is that the name of your bar? So please hit us with some details about your bar. When I walk in, what am I going to see? What's the atmosphere like? What am I feeling? Is there music playing or is there podcast playing? I don't know what it might be. So is it just Jean Jacket by Isle of 8 playing just for
Hopefully.
hours? Which, listen, I hope so.
People would be exhausted from being amped up.
Oh, listen, I'd be turned.
No one stays longer than 20 minutes because they're too tired from being turned up. Do the kids say turnt? I think we're old.
I don't know.
I think we're old.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about what the atmosphere inside of your podcast bar would be like?
All right. Well, clearly, the atmosphere of a podcast bar is going to have to be pretty young because the podcasting community is not an old community. Podcasting has not been around that long. So I think when you walk in.
Well, I guess at this point you could possibly say middle-aged.
Is that us?
We talked about this recently. The Gen Zers have taken over. We're not cool anymore.
So the atmosphere that I'm trying to create is I mean, I'm just going to be straight up. It's a little bit similar to a hipster bar.
Okay.
So the decor as you walk in, you're going to see the walls are going to be filled with a lot of different things. So the thing you always hear in podcasting is you have to find your niche, right? You know, we've heard that a million times. So what I wanted to do with the decoration of this bar is there's a niche for everyone. So you've got, it's a lot of really old wood, pretty classic hipster upscale bar, but everything in the walls is covered with just an eclectic assortment of different things that represent different niches that people have and sometimes specific podcasts. There are private listening booths. So instead of like a normal booth, there's like a door to the booth and you can walk in so that you can listen to a podcast with your friends while you're still having drinks at the bar.
That sounds perfect because as someone who listens to, we all consume lots of podcasts. The people who enjoy that medium are generally looking for a way to enjoy the company of other people without actually enjoying the company of other people. So you're going out to a bar, but you're still getting your private time.
Exactly.
So,
and also,
I like where this is going.
In these COVID times, it seems like it would be very, very appealing to people because you could.
Yeah, they didn't even have to close.
Be in a small space if you could be in there by yourself if you want to. However, for those who are at the bar by themselves and maybe are wanting to just be at the bar and maybe have one headphone in or something, there are a couple of options when you actually go to the bar. For those sitting on the stools, you can connect to specifically a Bluetooth spot that is assigned to your portion of the bar where you can join in like a group listen. So the people next to you might be listening to the same thing. Or you also just have the old school plug in. If you've got your big can headphones and you want to plug in right in front of you and choose a podcast, the bar has screens in front of you where you can scroll and look through different areas of podcasts.
All right. I like where this is going personally. It sounds like the type of bar I'd want to go to so I could do something on my own, but still say I left the house. Speaking right to me, I appreciate it.
I knew who my judge was.
You did. Now, Joe, let's see what you have. You've got our Tool Time Home Improvement bar. Why don't you give me an idea of what the atmosphere of your bar is?
Okay, so I approach this how I like when I build furniture. I try to not see, like, I try to picture the finished product, like when I'm designing it, like what I think the final cut will look like. So I did that with this.
So you have like a half-built bar?
Yes. My bar is laid out very similar to what McCarthy's would be in downtown Lexington.
Now, Lexington translator here. McCarthy's is a Irish bar downtown. It is located next to what is now a very nice hotel, but for about 10 years was just a pit in the middle of downtown.
Yes, or a random green space. They used to have the fastest kid in town race it.
Fun fact about McCarthy's, it's where I had my first legal drink.
That sounds rough. My most vivid memory of McCarthy's is the one time where I turned down the street that it's located on, which quite honestly looks like a dark alley at night, and a bar fight of more than 20 men spilled out the one door. Like, it looked like you opened a can of biscuits. All these white boys just busting out, throwing fists.
It's, you say, I agree with you that road is weird, but that's literally like a main drag in Lexington. That turns into Nicholasville Road, which is 8 lanes across. Like, it's so weird that road gets so tiny and bottlenecked right there, but it does. But anyways, so the reason I chose McCarthy's is it's one bar, but they've got like 3 individual bars in one building. They got the Spider's Web and then the 2 McCarthy's bars. So that's how mine is done. Mine has the layout. You can go in 3 doors, 1 door. They all pass through each other. But I have 3 different bars based on 3 different sets from Tool Time.
Okay.
And each set has a theme, and the bar matches that. So the first bar is the Tool Time set. It's very well lit. It's lit by stage lights, can lights, everything you would see on the actual show. There's those big white lights like in photography studios. There's cameras in there. There's boom mics. So the walls are lined with tools and pictures of guests who were on the show. And the seating is kind of arranged similar to what the studio audience sat. So it's kind of in rows. There's a stage in the corner. So if there are live music, this is the bar it's in. The actual bar is designed to look like a workbench. And the refrigerator is covered to look like a toolbox. They lift the lid of the toolbox, and that's where the beer is kept.
That's cool.
And the entire back bar looks like different tools, anything you might find on the set. This is the bar you go to with like your buddies for a guy's night out. There's one or the other one. We'll talk about the other one. This one also has a built-in photo booth that's modeled after the soundproof box they built on a Tool Time episode.
Okay.
I remember that episode.
And the cameras record it. And it's a photo booth, a karaoke booth, or / recording studio. So you could do.
But can you listen to podcasts in it?
Well, I mean,
That's
I guess
the
if you
important
have
question.
headphones, yeah. But
if you brought your own.
Tim believed in a social life. He was a very social individual. So it's there to hang out. It's built to hang out. And there's also a small section of different props used in the man's bathroom, man's gym, man's bedroom, man's kitchen, and the man's dorm room. So you find little pictures and knickknacks from all these things. The second bar is a set of the Taylor household. This is the most intimate of the 3 bars. So if you're on a date night, this is where you may want to end your date night. It's more natural lighting, similar to what you would see in a bar today. Kind of darker, dim, just a good atmosphere.
Having a date night in a outdated 90s house is going to probably give a lot of people our age some PTSD.
It's set up with the kitchen and the living room. The bar is the Taylor's kitchen counter and stove area. You actually lift the top of the stove up, and that's where the drinks are stored. Their china cabinet is where they keep all the liquor in the back bar. The seating in this section is like kitchen tables and chairs, as well as couches and chairs you sit on in the living room. This is where you'd also go to watch games. They have large TVs with built-in sound systems around it to look like you would have in the 90s, where it's like a built-in bookshelf around the TVs. This is where you go to watch a game. This bar also has access to a patio out back that resembles the Taylor yard. There's a gazebo where you get to go sit, a grassy area, and there's actually a playground in the back. You could go sit on the playground and drink your beer and hang out. Slides, swings.
You're gonna need some high insurance on that playground.
Oh, don't worry.
Going to be
don't
a
worry.
dangerous playground.
I got this.
Very important question, though. Do you have a Wilson?
No, I'll get there.
Okay. Listen, he thought through
I have
all this,
3
Ryan.
pages of notes.
Far be it from me to interrupt Joe.
And then the last bar is Tim Taylor's Garage. Lots of overhead shop lights and lights around, like the big bright lights you see on work sites or pointed against the wall. This is a lot of gray with wood tones and brightly covered painted metal, like car parts are on the wall to give pops of color. It's just set up to look just like his garage. The seating is like car back seats bolted against the wall. So you can sit in the back seat of a car.
That's cool.
And then there's like a table with like a hubcap and a glass top and then 2 front seats sitting there so you can all talk to your friends. The bar has a hot rod built into it. The side of the bar is a hot rod.
I was waiting for it.
And then the decor is like, it's just the walls are riddled with pictures of Tim Taylor's favorite cars, hot rod magazines, and cars he's built or that were on the show. And this one has a jukebox in it that only plays 50s and 60s rock and roll. So Beach Boys, Grease songs, stuff like that. And this is kind of like the fun. To me, I think this is where the hipsters would end up. Because it would
probably
not make sense.
Ironically.
Ironically, they would be in this bar. So, but depending on your mood, this bar has a bar to fit that specific action you're doing, whether a date, guys' night, hanging out with friends, or if you want to go chill, if you want to be kind of crazy and shoot your own karaoke music video, if you want to go hang out on a playground, we've got an area for you to do all that in.
Well, it seems we've got some stiff competition here. I'll say this. Joe had his mind pretty much made up last week, so he's been ruminating on this. Ryan had a shorter decision, but they've both come out guns a-blazing. And quite honestly, this has been a very Joe's got a lot of details, but Ryan's was good too. It's neck and neck. So now the question I have is, one of my favorite things about going to theme bars, whether it's like a beach theme bar that's going to have like Hawaiian shirts, or, I went to, it's not really a theme bar, but I went to a place down in Alabama that's themed after the Hangout Music Festival. They all wore like old music festival t-shirts.
I've been to the Hangout
was
as
cool.
well. It's a great bar.
You got to have some cool swag for your bartenders, waiters, waitresses to be wearing. So Ryan, tell me what the staff is wearing at your podcast bar.
All right. So at the podcast bar, first of all the bartenders are exactly like you picture your friend that always tells you about a podcast. That's what the bartender looks like.
Josh.
Not to self-promote here, but go to tmiwpod.com and look at the pictures. That is what the bartenders look like.
If you look at the three of us, it's a pretty good smattering of what our bartenders look like.
So fellas, don't be worried about any of us stealing your girl. You're safe.
Yeah, you're good. We're all taken anyway.
Actually, this probably is not the bar to come pick up a girl at.
No, this is where you take your serious relationship. Because this is where you want to share a podcast, and sharing a podcast is a serious relationship move.
This could be a place where you and your future spouse, partner, whatever it may be, friend, could decide to start their own podcast. The inspiration could come from
that
this.
is what. See, these.
No, don't, please don't. There's enough of us already. We have been over this a few times on this podcast. We don't need any more.
We
Stop.
tip the scale.
Start that
No,
podcast.
stop.
No more after us.
All right. So I think they're all gonna have a some matching aprons. I think I'm gonna go with the denim because it fits the theme. But I think also an important aspect is I want them to be able to express individuality and be able to have great conversations with people. So they are going to have an AirPod in at all times because they're always listening to a podcast.
Just one,
Yeah,
right?
just one because they want.
So,
they gotta be
you're
able to
not
hear the
sure if
orders.
they're paying attention to you or not.
That's the other thing about my bartender. So they're also going to be able to display their podcast enamel pins on their apron. Josh is an avid wearer of the enamel pins.
I have quite a few, yes.
And I want them to give off. So the look is important, but really the feel of the bartender is also very important. Like, the attitude of the bartender. So this might come off strange, but I want them to come off a little bit pretentious and kind of like they know a little more than you, because that is kind of how it feels when you talk to somebody and they're telling you about a podcast topic that they know, because once you listen to a podcast about it, you feel like you're an expert. And so that is the kind of vibe I want to convey from my bartenders. They just know a little bit more than you at almost everything, because they're also avid podcast listeners.
So is that part of the training?
It is part of the training. I will have to have them submit a full research paper talking about their favorite podcasts and the ways that they are able to debate certain things and their stances on specific podcasts. It will be a very lengthy application process, but I think because of the way that this bar is going to be run, I think it's important.
How many episodes of 99% Invisible do they have to listen to before they start there? What's on the listening list?
I think they need to be able to talk about Roman Mars on a very personal level. Roman Mars, Mark Maron. If they mention Joe Rogan, they're immediately out.
Good. That's what I was going to ask.
I am not getting hired at this place. I don't know who any of those people you just mentioned are.
Joe doesn't listen to any podcasts, including this one. Joe
is actually not a podcast listener. He's just a creator.
No, I actually listen to a lot of podcasts, but you all would probably never listen to the ones I listen to.
Okay, I really like the thought you put into that, Ryan. The clothing choices are on point. Your disqualifying questions for which podcast you listen to are perfect. But Joe, I need to hear, and I have a guess. It involves a lot of denim, but I'll just let you tell us what the folks at your home improvement / Tool Time bar are wearing.
And really large button-up shirts that are way too big.
So I want to preface this by saying Tool Time was a family show, and I'm going to say one person. Everybody's going to think, oh, yeah, all of our clothes are respectful. We don't want to subjectify anyone or objectify anyone, whatever word you want to use there. So
yeah, definitely don't want to subjectify
I'm sorry.
them.
We know I can't speak. So I picked 4 characters that anyone in the bar can dress like, except for one role. The females can dress up as Heidi or Jill. Heidi would be jean shorts or like jean overalls with like a white shirt underneath and flannel tied in a knot in the front with a tool belt. If they want to dress up like Jill, they could do like jeans and a blouse or a jumper or a dress. And then the men can dress up like Tim, whether that's a job site outfit like jeans and a flannel and a vest with a tool belt, or Al, jeans, flannel, and tool belt. All of them have tool belt that'll help you with their money, with their tips and stuff like that.
I was going to say, tool belt at a bar is actually something that should probably happen more.
Yeah, I mean, they can store tips there if they want to do, like, they can sell airplane shots as they're walking around. Like, oh, you want a shot? Here you go, $1. Boom, done. So, but I want all my staff to feel safe, to feel represented well, to feel respectful. So no shorty short shorts. We're going to be wholesome here. We are in a bar, but I want everyone to feel safe and in a safe environment. The only job that has a required dress code is security. That is Wilson.
There it is.
Perfect.
They wear khakis.
Do they wear a mask?
The front is not required to wear a mask because he shows his face in the last episode. But
That's
you
true.
believe that if you are out back, you will see a face come over that fence and just walk back and forth. You'll never know what the rest of them look like, but all you'll see is a fisherman's hat and a set of eyes come over the fence, and they're watching you.
I like that. And I also appreciate the homage to Tim Allen by saying that the security will not be wearing masks. That seems very fitting. So I think what we need to do is we need to take a break and go to the moderator's office and subjectify these folks to some brief reminders of things that they can do to help us out. So we'll go there. And then when we come back, I need to get the specialty drinks of your bar as well as the name. And we'll hit that when we get back from moderator's office.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. We're going to be really quick here in the mod office. The best thing that you guys can do for us is just continue to share the show. We've continued to see growth, and that's super encouraging for us. You know, sometimes it gets to be a lot of work, this hobby that we've chosen, but we always appreciate seeing our numbers going up, so we appreciate you guys. So if you want to follow us on any of the social medias, we are TMIW Pod and at tmiwpod.com. You can go there. You can check out all of our photos and get to know a little bit about us. You can also send us an email at tmiwpod@gmail.com. I don't know if we mention that every week or not, but we want to hear from you guys. Send us your topics. If you have, even if it's just a general idea, it might get us going, and we might be able to find a really good topic out of any idea that you send us. I know Dakota sent us some that we are still using and debating about whether we want to come back to those. We are also still looking for partners to partner with us in the show. So if you have a business that you want to promote to our listening audience, or if you just want to partner with us and just give us lots of money, we would really appreciate that. So if you will reach out to us on any of the social media, just send us a DM, or if you want to email us at tmiwpod@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much. We're going to head back into the main office and talk a little bit about some specialty drinks.
All right, grab a bar stool, sit back down here in the main office, and let's talk about these drinks. So, Ryan, you have a podcast-themed bar. We have talked about the atmosphere. We've talked about the decor. We've talked about what the bartenders and waitresses and everybody will be wearing, but what will they be serving? So why don't you tell us about some of your specialty cocktails?
So first of all, we have the Roman Mars wine list. These are not 99% invisible. They are beautiful reds, a few whites.
100% full-bodied.
100% robust and full-bodied. And if they come recommended by Roman himself, you know that you're going to be in for a good time. Next, we have... So the complete bar menu is available on the touch screens that are available at all of the tables and on the bar itself, because this is a very technology forward bar. There's an entire section that is labeled Crime Martini. Now,
okay.
Now, I don't know, for those that may not listen to a lot of different podcasts, there are about 3,600 different true crime podcasts. And
is that it? Because I swear Erica listens to more than that.
She probably listens to 3,600.
Yeah.
And so the thing about the crime martinis, you can get them kind of however you want them, but they all pretty much taste the same. Then we get to the specialty name drinks. So all the big name drinks have really long names because they're all sponsored.
Oh, of course.
So we first have This American Beer, sponsored by Squarespace.
Okay.
So this is a beer. It's served in an Ira glass.
Oh, Ryan.
Even for me, that was bad.
You have to nope. You have to text Erica and tell her about your bad
I don't
joke.
think I have her number, but you can text her and
I'll text her on your behalf.
Yeah, thank you. I actually had that. I was like, you know what? This might be an Erica text, but it's worth it. It was the low hanging fruit. It was right there. It has notes of pretentiousness, and it's a fairly hoppy beer. And then finally, the signature drink of my bar, and that is the Rogan. This is a actually, and this is funny.
Is it just tears?
This is funny because I promised Joe I made this drink before I looked on your drinks. I promise you. This is a CBD whiskey power hour. And that is brought to you by Casper. And then after you finish the drink, the bartender just blows smoke in your face.
Do you just get are you only allowed to have it in their private room where it's like all white men getting aggressively sweaty and talking about dumb shit?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Awesome. Well, Joe, why don't you tell us about some of your specialty drinks?
I have 4 specialty drinks. The first one, this is always a special. It's always a great deal. And it's served all the time. Power hours are always on special and available in this bar at any of the 3 bars you attend, you can always get the power hours are always half price specials, happy hour specials.
Joe, I apologize. I have to interrupt you. Erica just texted me back, and she said, I don't know why you're texting me because this is brilliant.
Yes. Erica is on my
So when
side.
The Ira Glass joke is terrible.
jokes-
I'm sorry. That is awful.
No, when I make bad jokes, she gives me shit, and then when Ryan makes one, she says it's brilliant.
This is because I am brilliant, Josh. You have to just grapple with the fact that I am brilliant.
And apparently I'm single.
Ooh, is this a live breakup?
Well, it's like a week. It's like a week delayed. She'll find out when that episode comes out. I'll just have to ruminate on
That's
this
gonna be
all
an
week.
awkward week when you're just like, man, when's she gonna listen? Like, you're gonna come home Thursday and be like, did she listen yet? Has she listened to the episode yet?
It's going to be even more disappointing when, like, 2 years down the road, she's still here and she just never listened.
It's
and lied to
it's
me about it.
Schrodinger's breakup. You're not going to know whether you're broken up
That's
or
gonna
not.
be the too trusty relationship. If she comes home Thursday night, makes dinner, and acts like nothing ever happened, then you'll truly know she
There you
just
go.
doesn't listen to your show.
And then you'll break up with her anyway.
This is like some Matrix
I'm a
level
pansy.
crap.
Anyways,
So, no, you're good. You're good. I have 3 sets, so it only makes sense I have 3 drinks. If you're on the Tool Time set, I invite you to check out the Benford 6100. That is our version of Michigan Proud beer and a black and tan beer with only Michigan Proud beer.
of course.
I didn't look up what beers are from Michigan because I'm not going to give anybody a shout out unless they want to support us.
Great Lakes.
Well, they can pay us. The second one, if you're at the Taylor House, is the I Can Fix That. So this is a old fashioned, but we've made some
Of course.
slight modifications to it. We gave it more power, if you will. So let's just say we souped it up. We supercharged that drink. We gave it more juice, and now it gets where it's going, but even faster and stronger. And the last one from the Taylor Garage is the Torque Wrench. That is our version of screwdrivers, but with apple juice instead of orange juice, because the apple is the state fruit of Michigan.
These are some
Oh.
deeply researched cocktails.
So
I
you
like
can
it.
come to our now.
Those
you
are
can
good.
order those anywhere, but we suggest you go to the bar if you want, and I Can Fix That. But you're hanging out on the Tool Time set. It's best that you go to the Tim Taylor House and get that drink because those people, Heidi, Jill, Al, they're made. They know that's their drink. They take pride in that. They worked hard in it. If Tim makes you a drink, you better give it to a friend and go somewhere else and get one. But if you get one from Apple or from Jill, Heidi, Al, they're going to be great. So whether it's the Benford 6100, the I Can Fix That, the Torque Wrench, we have a drink that's going to suit your taste, your need, and it's going to give you more power in everything you do.
I love it. Now, I do have a very important question. How many IPAs are on tap at your bar, Joe?
Well, we have at least 7, but
Oh, that's more than I
the
expected.
The majority of our beer is a light beer. We really specialize in Miller Lite, Bud Light, Busch Light, Coors Light. Yeah, that's our
Yeah.
main sellers. But
That's what I was
we
expecting.
do have bottled IPAs for people if that's what they're. We're very inclusive. We want everyone to feel at home at the Taylor House.
That's very nice. How many IPAs and craft beers does your bar have, Ryan?
How many are in the world?
I think that I was gonna say it's about 20 per week, and it rotates.
that
yeah,
seems
of
very
course.
expensive.
Oh, this is not a cheap bar.
Okay, I like it. That's really good. But we got one more important piece of information we need, which is the name of your bar. However, before we do that, I will give each of you one last chance to tell me anything else that I need to know about your bars.
All right, so this is just a little bit of a smorgasbord of what I had left in my notes. So first, you can subscribe to the bar,
Of course.
and when you subscribe, you as a member of the bar, you can come in once a month for a free drink. So that membership it's already paying for itself. The bar also doesn't have any advertising; it relies on word of mouth. So you just got to make sure you tell your friends about it. There is also an option to donate to a Patreon for the bar, and if you donate to the Patreon, they will let you into the back room, and you get to help them make new drinks and help them come up with some new drink concepts, and you get to record your own podcast in the back. And finally, when it is closing time, they don't play the normal closing time over the speakers or anything like that. All of the headphones in the place will then start. They will start the housekeeping portion of the evening, where they start thanking everybody for coming, and then they discuss where they can be. All the bartenders can be reached on social media and telling them to please come again and tell all their friends. So
Excellent.
The name of my podcast bar, I honestly had a lot of trouble coming up. I wasn't able to come up with like a super punny name. I was hoping I was able to, but I just wasn't able to. But the name of my bar is Casting Call.
Excellent.
A little homage to my theater background. And
is it sponsored by Blue Apron or anything?
Oh yeah, it is a Casting Call brought to you by Blue Apron.
Okay. I just need to make sure. Okay, Joe, do you have any other details about your bar? And if not, we need you to hit us with that name.
I think the most important thing to remember about this bar is for every person out there. We have a clientele to fit every walk of life. And the cool thing about this place is you never know who you're going to see. There may be a construction crew coming in there. There may be a basketball, football team coming in there. It may be a family coming in to eat dinner on a Saturday night. We serve food. Yes, I forgot to mention that. We do have a full kitchen inside the Taylor household that does serve meals.
I'm assuming some Detroit-style
pizza. Pizza. There's sandwiches.
I do love Detroit pizza.
Burgers, fries,
so
all kinds of stuff. When it came time to come up with the name, to me, like if I recommend a bar to someone, it has to be a name that's easy but recognizable. Now, if I say, hey, Josh, you want to go to the Tool Time Bar? That sounds awful. What's a name that's easy to say that will immediately, you know what you're talking about? So we decided to call to name our bar Binford's.
Sounds friendly.
Come
Good
on down to
choice.
Binford's, have a drink, hang out. Hey, where are you at? We're at Binford's having a power hour. Oh, I'll be right down. So whether you're at the Taylor House, Tim's Garage, or at the Tool Time set, everyone has a place at Binford's. Everyone has a place to fit in, find what they want, get a good meal, get a good drink, and be part of the Taylor family.
Man, this
is a tough one.
This is a tough one. I've got all the information I need, but I'm going to have to talk this one out here for just a second. So just bear with me. Okay, so I asked the guys for the most ridiculous theme bar that would still be awesome, and they both delivered. Just I'm so impressed by how we got to this point. This is the toughest decision I've had to make. Now the things to think about is Ryan's bar is somewhere I absolutely want to hang out. Like I would go there. No problem. I love the theme. It's got a bunch of funny details. I love the closing time tradition. The drinks are good. And I'm certain that they would have the beers that I like to drink. But on the other side, we got Joe's bar, which sounds like more of a unique time. Like I probably wouldn't necessarily go to that bar, but that's like the point of theme bars is you're like, I want to go here because this is a different experience. I love the thought he's put into it. I love the three different bars with the three different vibes. It's a cool place to go and get a little bit of everything. Just so good. And so I just had to go with the cool, well thought out, well designed bars of Binford's.
Yes, I was gonna be so sad if I lost this one because this is by far my best research on
I
everything.
came so hard for that.
Ryan, I thought you
so
had
hard
me. I
for it.
really was like, damn it, he played Josh. I'm gonna lose here.
I was trying to play Josh like a fiddle, and I got
Here's
close.
the thing. You played me like a fiddle so good, but the one thing that I started thinking is like, if I wanted the most ridiculous one that would still be cool, your bar sounds like something that somebody needs to make. Because I think I made it
too cool.
I can't imagine anybody would make Binford's, but I would go there if it was in my town. And so that's really what it was. And having the three different sets with the house and the backyard and the studio audience and the different bars and the tool bench, fridge, like it was too much. I hope you understand, Ryan. I know this is two bad beats in a row, so I apologize.
It's okay.
but-
This one, I genuinely was like, you know what? This was a great episode either way. We both really brought it for very different things.
I really thought I was going to take the L, and I was going to be so sad. Not mad, but I legitimately would have been sad.
Honestly, I'm a proud debater in this episode. No hard feelings.
Well, it sounds like we all fought it out, but we bonded our bridges, so to speak, and here we are, all one big happy TMIW pod family. So, Ryan, why don't you close us out before we can get into any kind of arguments?
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us this week. Thank you, everybody, for listening. I also want to thank Isle of 8 for the use of our theme song, Jean Jacket, which we'll be playing in Casting Call every morning, at least 5 or 6 times as we're opening everything up. Get everybody jazzed. Go check them out anywhere you find great music.
Just to springboard off what Ryan said, we do thank you all for listening. If you could take the time right now as we're finishing up, go to iTunes, Spotify, whatever, go ahead and subscribe to this podcast. That helps build our numbers and get our podcast in front of new people. The other good thing you could do is to rate and review us. Give us that 5-star review and tell us why you like the podcast, what you enjoy listening to it, and another person may see it and realize they can enjoy the same thing, and then tell a friend. Telling a friend helps us more than anyone else. If you have a Tool Time fan or a podcast fan in your life, see which bar they would choose. And also, I'd like to say this part of this week is a special. If you come down to Binford's and mention TMIW, you get half price on all Binford 6100 drinks at the Tool Time set. So come on down, mention TMIW, that promo code there, and let's have some fun. Watch some Michigan football.
And while you're online, go to TMIWpod.com. Over there, you can find all sorts of resources for connecting with us. You can send us a message, find our social media, listen to episodes of the podcast, and you can even buy some of our merch. We've got a lot of good stuff up there for you to check out. And also on the website right now is our homegrown podcast cocktail known as the Joe Rogan Experience. It is a delicious Four Loko with a new tropic chaser. You're going to love it. It's fantastic. We got all the flavors of Four Loko, and they're the original ones, not the ones that they watered down because we were getting a little too turnt. So make sure to head over there, check that out. All sorts of good stuff.
Before we get too much further, I know Josh mentioned the merch. I actually just ordered myself some merch. My wife bought a tank top. I bought some new Tell Me I'm Wrong stickers. Guys, they are great quality. We're super happy with it. Check out that store. It's some really good stuff.
We hope to get some more merch up soon. We just got to be funny enough to actually have a good inside joke to use. So, as always, there is one winner, but we're all losers. Later, losers.
See ya.
Closing time. Turn off all your podcasts and clean up your AirPods before you go.